What's going down? Thor, Boy Banter, here with Kevin Cook, charter rep for Minnesota Wampus, right?
Nailed it.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
Awesome. The Armageddon 3 preview predictions video happening right now. TSL, the Saber Legion, International Lightsaber Dueling Organization. Check them out everywhere online. They have an upcoming event happening March the 30th at the Uptown VFW in Minneapolis, Minnesota. So we're going to be running down the card on that. We're going to be predicting the matches. I am normally the commentator for these events. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to make the Armageddon one. I have a commitment that I cannot get out of. So I won't be there. Kevin will be there. You're fighting there. Yeah. You got one of my, so I have two matches on this card that I'm extremely excited for. One of them is, and they're both singles matches, so I'll just get that out of the way. And then the third one, obviously, the main event is going to be amazing. But I got two really highlight undercard matches, and yours is one of them. But we'll get to there when we get to there. So tell me a little bit and tell the people just kind of how you got into TSL, how you became kind of the charter rep, a little bit, just a brief history about you and TSL.
Sure. So I've been longtime friends with Shamim since before any of the lightsaber stuff. I'm sure you all know Shamim. And
everybody knows Shamim.
Yeah. He told me about, this lightsaber dueling that his friends are doing. I was like, that sounds really cool. How can I be a part of that? So that was 3 years ago. I was actually at the last Minnesota charter outside meet ever.
Oh, at the old park?
Yeah, at the old park.
I love the park was great. That's where I first got introduced to TSL was in the park. So
there you go.
That's awesome.
So and then since then I started coming. I built up my gear. I had like a master replicas I was dueling with back then, but now I've got like a nice saber forged saber. I became the charter rep like earlier this year because I've just been here for a long time. I guess.
Earlier in 2019?
No,
it was last year. Earlier in 2018. Yeah, it was early 2018.
Yeah.
That's right. Yep.
And been fighting. I was at TSL 1, TSL 2, and then a bunch of the championship events.
Awakening you fought at. You've been around. You're one of the people I remember from like kind of the beginning of, especially when we started doing the events and it started growing in kind of popularity. The OGs that I remember fighting. So I'm excited to have you on, have you here. Charlie Cummings been here, who you're actually have fought in the past.
Yep.
And then Jimmy Sorrell's been here, who you also have fought in the past. So now Kevin's here to join us on this one. So pleasure to have you.
I'm happy to be here.
So let's break it down right off the bat. The opening fight. This is one of the matches I'm super excited for. The opening match of the night is going to be Mackenzie, Irvine versus Dane, Kegel. I remember these two running the scorecard when they were too young to really fight in the Champion Series events.
Right.
And to watch these two, like I'm not there all the time, so I don't see the progression that you guys have seen. But even from afar, seeing these two who came up kind of, I watch a lot of New Japan Wrestling, and they have these things called young boys, and they kind of like do the ring stuff, and they help them, and they train with the guys, and they're in the dojos training and stuff like that, but then they eventually work their way up, and then they're, the opening match of the night. So this is kind of like that for TSL.
Yeah, pretty much the same sort of thing. Mackenzie's been able to fight for a couple of years now, and I think we saw him at TSL 2 with a championship series fight. Dane, still a little young, but we allow him to fight at our events because we have the supervision. We've known him for so many years that there's no issue, with his safety or his control.
Right. And these two are good friends too. So this is going to be that's why I think this is going to be an interesting match. Because I just remember seeing those two sitting on like I said, the judges table doing the scoring, messing around backstage or just around the events since I've started going. So now to see these two going head to head against each other, that's going to be a fun match for everybody, especially for like his dad there and just being here in Minnesota and just that whole atmosphere of a championship series events and being the opening match to get everybody hyped up. I mean, that's going to be exciting for those young guys.
Yeah, I think it's going to be exciting for everybody. I mean, these two are close friends. They have a similar build. They've known each other for a long time. Everybody, again, if you've tuned into any event, you've seen them on the score table. And they're both passionate guys who are going to go out there and have a great fight.
Yeah, they're going to do great. I can't wait. I don't know if I'm going to be able to watch live. I'm definitely going to try to tune in. I think it is going to be live stream. I'm pretty sure. So make sure to watch out for that on YouTube. It's going to be on YouTube, I think, exclusively going forward. Like we're done with Facebook after last time. Just too many problems, too much lag. The action moves too fast. and you need kind of the faster speed that YouTube operates at. So check YouTube on Saturday, March 30th, starting around 6 p.m. ish.
That's my understanding.
6
Usually
to 9?
it's like a 6:15 will actually start fighting.
Yeah, around there. So we got 3 tag team matches on the card and 4 singles matches. We talked about the opening match. Now we're going into our first tag team match of the night. It's Fidel Gonzales and Chris Win versus Shane Ray
Misho
and Jameis Brahma. We'll
get through it together.
2 of these fighters. That's exactly why I have somebody else here. It's honestly not. I mean, that's not the only reason, but it's one of the main ones. 2 of these fighters I'm familiar with. I've seen Fidel fight. I've seen Jameis fight on a number of occasions now. I am not familiar with Chris, but he did do the. Chris did the app, right?
Yeah, the scoring app is a collaboration between him and his friend.
And they fixed it, or not fixed it, but they changed it just for yours truly because the commentator's head was in the way of the score at the last event. So they swapped where the logo was in the score so the commentator's head wouldn't be in the way. And I appreciate that, even though there'll be different commentators there this time. But they're going to do great. And then Shane, I'm not familiar with him either.
Right. So Shane and Chris are both fairly new Minnesota charter members. Shane is kind of one of Terry's secret crew. He's one of the guys who lives in Terry's neighborhood, meets with Terry in his garage, and is able to duel with him.
Terry's neighborhood Saber crew.
Yeah.
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 Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I honestly, his skills at this point are a bit of a mystery to me because I don't see him at the Minnesota meets very often. So I'm interested to see how he's going to be in the fights. Chris, on the other hand, I've seen a lot of dueling he's at every meet as far as I can tell, even the Thursday meets. We have a little bit more of an intense meet on Thursdays. Chris has been coming to those meets. I know he's really excited to be competing for the first time. He has a saber he's going to debut at this fight for the first time. A nice cross-point saber. I won't spoil too much there.
Yeah.
So it's going to be good. Chris has a little bit of training, I know. I don't know specifically what style, but he has a little bit more of a European style training.
Okay.
Shane, unfortunately, I can't recall. Obviously, Jameis, a team member of mine on the Just Two Men's.
Yeah, from the last match. Yeah,
right.
You and Jameis, and you guys were victorious in that match.
We were. We
I'm on fire today.
Conquered over Edward Trovada and Tanner Martin.
Yep. Yeah, that was a good match. That was a really good match. It had that sweet disarm from Tanner.
Yes,
that gif was out of control. Now Fidel is out of what charter again?
I believe he's out of the California charter.
Yeah, California. And Jameis is out of Colorado.
He's the rep for Colorado.
So again, another one of these tag teams where you kind of throw in different guys from different charters together. You got 2 newcomers from the Minnesota charter going with 2, veterans from outside state charters. The chemistry is going to be different. There was a lot I liked about the tag team matches. I think they're still kind of flushing out. I'm not gonna say I've yet seen a great tag team match, but they're still kind of flushing out how they work, kind of the interworkings. You know what I mean? You get what I'm saying?
From what I've seen from wrestling, and I'm not a particular wrestling fan, but there seems to be a bit more theatricality in the tag team matches. There's a bit more tension between like the tags and getting to your partner.
And there's a way that they work. There's a way tag teams work in wrestling too, where like you want to corner somebody maybe in your corner, and then hot tags and keep that person cut off from their other side of the ring. So you wear that person down. So there's an art to tag team wrestling. And I think there's going to develop an art to saber dueling tag team style. But I think that's still kind of flushing itself out. And that's what I was getting at is like, you can still kind of see everyone involved working it as like, it's not 2 singles matches. It's not just a singles match and then another singles match and then, different combinations. How do you work in tandem with that other person to create an advantage over the other team, right?
Right. And when I was partnered with Jameis, we discussed some strategies on how to overcome our opponents and try and take advantage of them. And like you were mentioning, cut them off from their side. And that's something in discussions with Kristen, actually, who we'll talk about later. We've talked a little bit about maybe what the meta of tag team is going to look like and some strategies you can use to get the advantage over your opponents.
Yeah.
So hopefully as tag team matches kind of progress and as people get more familiar with that rule set, we'll start to see some of those strategies come out.
Well, and tag team belts. Tag team belts. I don't know what great mind was sitting on these videos like a couple months ago and saying there should be tag team belts, and then there were. I mean, I'm not going to say my prognostication skills are that good, but I'm not going to say they're not.
I mean, give yourself a little credit.
I'm not going to throw out my shoulder, pat myself on the back, but a gentle tap is not faux pas. So yeah, I'm excited for that match. It'll be interesting. There'll be a lot of TBD about that match. You know what I mean? We'll see how that goes. But so moving on. Oh man, I'm going to butcher this. I can already tell. We got another singles match with two fighters I am not familiar with in the least bit, but I hope you are.
I'll jump in for you here. So we have Nydia Romero from Florida Charter and Stacy Hassler from Minnesota Charter.
I wasn't too worried about the Stacy Hassler one. Wasn't. It was the Nydia. That one worried me.
I hope I'm right on that. I haven't met her and gotten...
Because I was going to say Nydia Romero, but Nydia sounds... And someone will correct us when we're wrong, and inevitably we will be. So
no offense meant.
What do you know about these fighters? Obviously, you know Stacy because she's from Minnesota. Is she a newer member or just someone I'm familiar with?
Right. So Stacy, like Shane, is one of Terry's neighborhood crew. I've seen her at one of our meets, maybe two. She participated in our basics class a little bit.
Okay.
She's pretty new to it, but I haven't gotten a real good sense of her fighting style. From those couple of interactions. So unfortunately, it's kind of a mystery to me. And same with Nydia, although if you go back and look at Sun Crusher from last year... Sun Crusher 1, the fall Sun Crusher.
Yep.
She competed there. I think she lost in her first round. I don't remember her opponent. As we could look it up on here. But yeah, so there's a little bit of footage out there on her. So
probably. So this mid card is really going to be a couple unknowns. Now the top of the mid card is not going to be unknown. Is not. I mean, not unknowns, but people we're not familiar with. Maybe who watch on a more casual basis or aren't really deep in the circles. In these respective charters, new to us.
Right. And before we jump into that, I'd just like to get in there that with Stacy being part of Terry's crew, and I know that Nathan Pumphrey from the Florida charter has been taking a special interest in coaching up Nydia. I think we're going to get an interesting match between these two because both their charter reps or leaders are really interested in helping them be their best in this fight.
All right. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to that matchup very much. Bryan Freeman versus Lewis Spooner. It doesn't say the third, but I like to say the third. I don't know if it's just me, Lewis. If that bothers you, I'm sorry. But Lewis Spooner the third versus Bryan Freeman. You said Bryan Freeman's like an OG?
Yes.
Like he used to be around a lot?
So if you guys watch TSL 1, you'll remember Bryan Freeman as the guy in the orange Rebel pilot suit armor.
I do remember that.
Yes, he's been at a couple of events. I think he was at Armageddon 1. And because I had a match with him, and that may have been Armageddon 1, actually.
Okay.
But he's been around. It was at TSL 1. I'm struggling to remember what other events he's been at. We haven't gone that far back in the records
But he did step away for a little while.
He did step away for a little while. He's back now.
This is the return match.
And he's returning against Lewis Spooner, who also is an OG person. I don't know if some of you remember the Rogue Squadron training clans we had. It was a formalized sort of training system where we had adapted real world martial arts into like the Star Wars lightsaber forms.
Okay. I don't.
I trained in one of those clans, and I know a bunch of other people trained in those clans.
Okay.
Lewis Spooner was actually my clan leader at one point. So he, in some way, is responsible for my traight.
Yeah.
And Bryan Freeman was also involved in those clans. So this will be an interesting match.
This is when he had an OG match last one because he fought Mike Irvine.
Yes.
Which big apologies to Mike because he won that match, and both me and Jimmy sat here and said Lewis all the way. And hey, when I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and I was wrong there. You know what we've been forgetting to do is pick who we have in these matches. We've been talking about them great, but we haven't said who we're going to take in.
Well, let's go back to the beginning.
Let's back up, and then we'll just catch up real quick. So, sure. Mackenzie, Dane, who you got?
So this seems like it would be a close match, but I've been paying close attention to what Dane's been doing recently, and I've got my money on Dane all the way.
Okay, I'm going to go Mackenzie just to be different, and because I've seen him fight a little bit more than I've seen Dane fight. Fidel and Chris versus Jameis and Shane.
This is a way closer match. My instinct is to go with Chris because I've seen him fight a lot, but also, like, Jameis is no punk, and I know that this is really going to come down to the matchups, which tag partners they have against who can like use their skills to exploit weaknesses on the other team.
Yeah.
You know, circle their opponents out so that they can't tag. I can see this going either way. I'm gonna put my money on Chris. Sorry to Jameis. We're still partners, I hope.
Okay.
Chris and Fidel. I'm not.
Yeah. You know what? I'll go with you on Chris and Fidel on that one. I remember where did I see Fidel fight? Was it TSL 3? I remember calling his name somewhere, but yeah, I remember being impressed by him. So I'm gonna take him. I'm gonna take him and Chris with you. So then we'll go to Nydia and Stacy. You're taking Stacy?
I'll take Stacy. Again, this one is a
Toss
total
up.
blind pick for me. Don't put money on this, guys. Like
I'm just going hometown girl Stacy as well because I don't have any real,
throw in a little Wampa Stompa.
Yeah, there you go. And then so the fight we were at was Bryan Freeman, Lewis Spooner. Bryan in his return match, Lewis OG coming off that loss to Mike. I'm gonna go Lewis.
See, you would think like ring rust for Bryan Freeman's going to be an issue. He hasn't competed in a while, but I've fought against him. He's deceptively quick, even though he's a small guy and you would think he was quick. He's deceptively quick. He's got great control, and I'm sure he hasn't just been sitting around these couple of years that he hasn't been competing. So I'm going to put my money on Bryan.
Okay. All right. Lewis, don't make me over 2. Don't make me over 2. All right, so the next match, very excited for this match. Ruth Marie Hodges and Amon Abdul.
I believe it's Amon.
Amon, yep, Amon. That's right, Amon Abdul.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got that right. Versus Kristen McConnell and Joshua Wilcoxon. Kristen and Josh, both from Minnesota. Ruth from Florida, and Amon
also from Florida.
That's my
understanding.
So I think you're right. Let's go. So if we got Florida versus Minnesota, clearly we already dislike them because they don't have winters like we do. So there'll be an added veracity from Kristen and Josh because it's been cold, even though it's warming up. You still just have that anger in you of winter. That
winter grumpus is still inside you.
It is so there's that added level of aggression from that, I think, on the Minnesota team. But Ruth Marie, I have not seen her fight. I don't think. I think I was at a fight where she was supposed to fight, but then I think she was injured or wasn't able to fight.
Okay.
And I have seen Amon fight. I want to say I've seen him fight, but I'm not recalling clearly if that was he at TSL 3?
I believe he was. I'll pull up the records real quick.
Okay.
I think they actually both may have been at TSL 3.
I know Ruth, because Ruth sat with me on the commentary for a while at TSL 3. She was with me on that last day when I was super tired. Speaking of TSL 4, which is happening August 1st through the 4th in lovely Las Vegas, Nevada at the Flamingo Hotel and Resort during Combat Con 2019. I will be there. I booked my flight last week, so I'm very much looking forward to a week in Vegas. And I realized that they do not have any Sunday events. So my Sunday will consist of laying by the pool and drinking copious amounts of alcohol. See you in Vegas. All right. While you were looking that up.
Yes. So we've got Amon was at Sun Crusher last year, the tournament.
Okay.
Did pretty well. It looks like he took 3rd place overall with that final win over Nathan Pumphrey. And was not at TSL 3. That was my mistake.
Okay.
So
you know what? I think I am thinking of Sun Crusher.
Right.
Because that happened last September, didn't it?
Yes, it did.
Okay.
And Ruth Marie had a fight with actually Kristen McConnell at Sun Crusher last year, one of the championship matches.
Right. I do remember that. Yes. Okay, that's what I'm thinking of.
And that was something I wanted to get to, is that this is a little bit of a grudge match for Kristen McConnell because she had, Ruth Marie has that win over her, and I know Kristen wants to get that back.
Oh, and she looked good at her fight at the last event.
Yeah, at Resolution.
At Resolution,
really good.
Yeah, she had a great match at Resolution.
Yeah.
At TSL, she took the champ to sudden death at the time, Alan Block. So yeah, she's been having a very, very strong showing as of late. So she, and Ruth, but she's got that 1L, from Ruth Marie at Sun Crusher, right in kind of between those two. So yeah, she's looking to right that wrong, I guess, in a tag team match with Josh. Josh, Minnesota, wears the Vikings armor. He's got that reach, very tall. I forget, is Amon.
Yes.
He's pretty tall too, isn't
Amon
he?
is also tall. We have a little bit of a mirror match.
Yeah.
In that we have like a shorter woman with a taller man.
Yep.
On both sides of this match. Josh, hot off his win over Mike Brudenell at Resolution, which was a fantastic showing for Josh. I was betting on Josh. But yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I picked Josh in that one. Yeah, I did. I picked Josh in that one.
So it'll be interesting to see how this fight goes. So my understanding that Amon has some kendo base. Kendo is the basis for his fighting style.
Okay.
And actually he has a match with Ryan Kappas this weekend at Suncrusher.
Okay, that's another one I was thinking of.
So it'll be interesting. He is fighting against Ryan, and then Ruth Marie, she is in a tag team match with her sister against two other sisters from the Florida charter.
Yeah, I saw that.
So
I saw that.
Both Kristen and Josh are going to be able to get footage on both of their opponents in advance of this weekend. Basically, the most recent, up-to-date, accurate footage possible.
A week before, really. I mean, their match takes place on the 23rd. The event we're talking about takes place on the 30th, so they'll have 1 week. They watch the Suncrusher event, and they'll get to kind of study up on what they're doing really up to the minute, pretty much. You know what I mean? So you're not adding a lot probably in that last week of training that you're going to do a whole lot differently come the next Saturday.
No,
you know?
And the Suncrusher event is happening on the Saturday, and we have a meet on that Sunday. So I know I'm going to be breaking down some footage with Kristen and Josh.
Oh, yeah.
At that meet, trying to help them get the advantage.
Well, that's a great segue that you're going to be breaking down footage because you have a vested interest because you are the next match. You are the penultimate match of the evening at Armageddon 3.
True, but let's not forget to make a call for this tag team match.
So the tag team match. Oh, I mean, I got to go Minnesota again, don't I? I mean, Kristen and Josh both coming off wins at Resolution. Both, yeah. I gotta go Kristen and Josh.
Right. I'm going with Kristen and Josh as well. But this is going to be a hard fought match. This is going to be one to watch for sure.
Oh, I'm hoping 3 rounds. I definitely want this one to go 3 rounds. And like you said, it's gonna be a hard fought victory. But Minnesota is gonna come out on top once again here, but no need to worry about that in this next match because Minnesota versus Minnesota. It is you, Mr. Kevin Cook, versus the aforementioned Ryan Kappas, who's fighting at Suncrusher versus Amon. So that's going to be why you're going to be breaking down footage, is watching what Ryan's doing versus Amon, right? On that Saturday, while the other two are watching what the opponents are doing. Right. So that's why you have that vested interest in said footage from Suncrusher. Have you fought Ryan before?
Ryan and I have dueled at matches, or at meets, excuse me. A long time ago, I had one kind of sparring match with Ryan, after which he went to Terry and he was like, I want to fight Kevin in a championship fight. Some time passed, we were scheduled for a fight, I injured my knee, that fight had to be canceled. So this is a fight that's been a year or two in the making. And finally is going to go down in 2 weeks.
Well, I said there were 2 matches I was really excited for. The opening match, Mackenzie and Dane, and this match, you versus Ryan. It's been a little bit. Ryan's taken a little hiatus in the ring since TSL 3?
Since TSL 3, he's pretty much, he stepped back pretty far. He did not participate in Ragnarok tournament.
In Ragnarok, he didn't participate in Resolution. So I haven't seen Ryan fight since TSL 3. Very, very much looking forward to seeing him fight at Suncrusher, and obviously looking forward to see you and him go at it at Armageddon 3. That is going to be one heck of a match. Obviously, I'm not going to ask you to pick because obviously, I mean, you have to pick yourself. So then I have to sit here and pick, and just like Jimmy, I'm going to have to say I'm sorry because I'm going to end up picking Ryan because Ryan is a beast. Ryan is a beast. And he hasn't fought in a while, in 6 months, but that doesn't mean he hasn't been training. That doesn't mean he ain't sharp as steel. That dude is intense. And that is, So, I mean, you got a tough one. Now, I said the same thing to Jimmy about Allen, and look how that went. Jimmy won. Jimmy was right. So, maybe I'm doing it to give you that same bump. Maybe I am. Maybe that's my reason.
I don't know if you can weasel your way out of this one, but that's okay. I forgive you. I honestly think a lot of people are going to be picking Ryan against me in this match, but that doesn't discourage me. I'm going to beat him. And I happen to have some information, some update as to Ryan. He was at this most recent meet for the Wampas, the first time I've seen him fight in a long time, where he looked great, but unfortunately sprained his ankle towards the end of the practice. So he's going to be fighting Sun Crusher on a sprained ankle, and then hopefully be recovered in time for Armageddon so I can get like the full effect Ryan Kappas.
Is it his forward leg that he sprained the ankle on, or his back leg he sprained the ankle on?
I did not see.
See, I would be weary of that injury. Good sir, I'd be weary of that injury. No, that I'm not saying Ryan is a liar, and I'm not saying he's not injured, but I'm just saying if you wanted to kind of honeypot someone by making them think that you had an injured ankle, so you had a weak spot to go at, and then built your defense around them attacking that weak spot, that's not something I put past a tactician of his level. That's not.
I think
I'm sure
he
did really hurt his ankle, and
he wants me full on.
Yeah,
so I don't think he would make that up. I don't think he would go that angle.
No, I don't think so either. But I'd just be weary, good sir. Just be weary.
Right. I'm just hoping he's in full effect.
Well, that could be because if he can't come forward on that foot, because I mean, if you've seen Ryan Kappas fight, he's got it's a kendo style. Like, it's a hard kendo style, and it's amazing, and it's awesome to watch, and it's powerful, and it's fast. But if you have a bum leg, and especially if it's that front, because I mean, you charge forward on both, but there's really one like lead leg, right? Mm-hmm. And there's one trailing leg because you kind of pull forward, and then it's like it's almost like a shuffle, and then wham. And if it's that front leg or his plant leg that he rolled that ankle on, that's gonna be tough for him.
Right. I mean, either leg is gonna be difficult, but
that's true.
If he's trying to push off on a bum ankle, that's gonna be a problem.
Yeah.
So hopefully, again, like I said, hopefully he's back in full effect in 2 weeks' time.
Well, and we all know that you with your reach love going shin bashing. Mm-hmm. So, that throws a different wrinkle in there. I'm still going with Ryan, but that does throw a different wrinkle in there.
Yeah.
I mean, chip sharing shot, right? And that's why we have the matches, because it can look one way on paper. Look at actually. Resolution 3 was a great example.
Yeah.
A lot of the ones on paper, I was like, oh, this is easy. Went completely the opposite way. I was 4 of 7 in predictions for that one. So we'll see how we do on this one.
You got that percentage.
Yeah, 4 of 7. I mean, it was above 50, but not much. So now it's main event time. And the main event is a tag team match. And this is going to be a goodie. We have the champ, who was supposed to be here with us today, but unfortunately couldn't make it, which we miss you and next time. Jimmy Sorrell and Mr. Charlie Cummings, close personal friend, a friend of the show, obviously. Welcome on Boy Banter anytime he wants to come on. Versus Jared Graham, my commentating partner from Awakening. God, I love everybody in this match. And William Russell, pumpkin spice everything. What can I say? My affinity for you is well known, I would say. So you got Jimmy and Charlie versus Jared and Russell. This is a doozy.
Yeah, this will be a really interesting match. We got the Jedi Gentlemen, and I unfortunately cannot remember the tag team name for Jared and Russell's team.
Have they come up with one yet?
They came up with one. It's in the chat. Yeah. Obviously, it'll be announced, so you guys will get to hear it. But this is an interesting match. Jared is kind of one of the quietest people in the rankings. I don't know if people always remember that he is ranked. He's got a win over Terry at last year's Sun Crusher event. I believe he has a win over Charlie as well.
Really?
In a CS match. So I'll let you dig through.
I was just pulling up the top 15 real quick.
Yeah.
Because where is Mr. Jared Graham? Number 10, Mr. Jared Graham. So because Jimmy's going up against his next number one contender is David, right?
Yes.
Loudenslager.
His next fight will be David.
Yeah. But that's not for a while.
I don't remember specifically when that's going to be.
Is that after TSL 4?
I would think it would be at TSL 4. Maybe it's
I don't think we have championship matches at TSL 4. We have 4 tournaments. No.
Yeah, there's so many tournaments.
50 plus tournament. They put out the schedule. Oh yes, but going back to TSL 4 for a second, they put out the schedule for TSL 4. So you got the 50 plus tournament kicking us off Thursday the 1st. You got the women's tournament later that day. They have the tag team tournament on Friday. You have the exotics Friday night, and And then the standard tournament is the last event of the weekend, which I'm so excited that they did that. Thank you, the great minds at TSL. You know who you are, wink, wink, for making that this way. Saturday, this will be the whole standard tournament, 3 rings. Not sure how we're going to do this logistically, taping wise and live streaming wise, but I got some people to talk to about that. But yeah, TSL 4 schedule came out. I'm very excited for that. So yeah, I think it might be after TSL 4.
It could be. Maybe it's Battle of Champions.
Battle of Champions.
That would make some kind of sense.
Which that is, I think, what, September or October?
October 12th.
So yeah, that'll be a little ways out, but something to look forward to. But so Jimmy and Charlie versus Jared and Russell.
Right, and so those of you who saw Resolution will remember Russell's great showing against David in that fight. David, who is the incumbent to fight Jimmy Sorrell. So Russell, skilled fighter. I fought him at Ragnarok. We had a fun match. Very, very dynamic, very fun personality to watch fight.
Yeah,
so that'll be great for this tag team match, I think.
Yeah, I think they're gonna put on a show. These four are gonna put on a show. Charlie was just on Good Morning America when TSL was featured on there. If you haven't seen that clip, it's on the internet. Go check it out. They did awesome. Him and Terry. Jimmy's the champ. Jared's the 10th ranked. Russell is the 6th ranked competitor. So I mean, you have. How many of these guys are in the top 15? Well, Jimmy is the champ. 3 of the 4. How is?
So
hold on. Hold on.
So let me explain.
Hold the phone.
Thor is distraught because
I'm looking at the top 15 for TSL rankings, and I don't see my boy, Mr. Charlie Cummings, in the top 15 of the TSL rankings. I just want to know how someone who can come in second at TSL 3, who came in second at Crossroads, how is he not in the top 15?
Right, so let me explain this. When I took over managing the rankings from Terry, we had a couple of provisions put in place just for things being reasonable. Terry and Charlie and Josh Linden, all being owners, are not allowed to be listed in the top rankings, as Aaron Riley, Tom Amoroso, Melody Graham, seeing as their directors. So the directors and owners are not allowed to be ranked in the top 15. That said, if you look closely at the spreadsheet here, it goes from F column to L column. So I keep a secret ranking that I have Terry and Charlie, all of them in, so that I can keep a relative track of where they are and move people relative to their wins over those people. Charlie is obviously a known quantity in our fighting organization, so a win over Charlie has some weight as far as putting you in the rankings, even though he isn't technically ranked himself.
Okay. Because I was like, we should have 4 of the top 15 fighters in this match. And then I looked and I was like, whoa. So I was just throwing it back for a second because I didn't even go through all the names when he first pulled up the rankings until just now when I was looking for Charlie's name. And yeah, it shocked me. So, but that was a great explanation. And thank you for that explanation. Now that does make a lot of sense. So with that being said, we have the four of the better fighters in this league going at it in a tag team match as the main event of Armageddon 3. It's going to be a great time. I know Terry's going to be doing some commentating. Jared's going to be joining him. They're going to do an awesome job. Very much looking forward to it. So who do you have in the main event?
You know, just looking at who's fought whom, I have to go with Jimmy and Charlie. And it's not even a Minnesota thing. Jimmy is just on like this meteoric rise.
He's on fire.
He's super difficult to stop. It's really going to come down to how do they deal with Jimmy. Charlie, obviously, no one to sneeze at, super skilled, and is going to present a challenge for both of these fighters. But, you know, having them step up to the level of the champion in the organization, I think is going to be tough. That said, everyone in this fight is a great personality. They're super exciting to watch. Jimmy has a really dynamic, really movement-focused fighting style. He's all over the ring, dancing around you, reaching you from places you can't touch him. Charlie has the charging turtle, of course, but he's even evolving beyond just the charging turtle. He's working on his defense. I couldn't even hit him with leg strikes last time I fought him, and that's like my signature strike.
That's what I said.
Jared Graham is Amazing personality in the ring. He's got the Deadpool costume. He's super fun to watch, but also super skilled, also with a long reach.
He's more agile than you'd think for his size. And I don't mean like because he's not he's just a very tall man.
Right.
He's a very tall man, but he's very agile. Like he likes to go for those all or nothing strikes sometimes. He'll lay out there for a point, and that's hard to defend against as someone who's just willing to like jump saber first and go for that flying kill strike.
Right, agile's the great word, and I love that you mentioned flying. He looks like Peter Pan in those stills you see of him. He's got this leaning out.
Yeah, well, he even has like he'll even have the hand up coming out. Yeah, no, that's yeah. Oh, good stuff. That'll be. But yeah, I gotta go Jimmy and Charlie too. I can't bet against the champ. Can't bet against my boy Charlie. I can't do it. I can't do it. So yeah, that's it. I think it's going to be an amazing event. It's going to be the next event. The next big event will be the War, which, man, breakdown. Well, no, we'll talk about. We'll do a War. I can't wait for the War preview video. We got to get at least 4 people in here for the War preview video. Definitely. We got to have a Jedi because it's Jedi versus Sith. It's how many people?
40 on 40.
40 on 40. So 80 man battle royal. Right?
80 person.
80 person. Right. Sorry. Did I say 80 man?
Yeah.
80 person battle royal. But yeah, that's gonna be a heck of a thing. But we gotta have a Sith person here, a Jedi person here, an impartial person, and then myself, obviously. We should get who leads both armies. Is it Terry and Charlie?
Terry and Charlie lead the 2 armies.
I think Terry and Charlie need to be on the TSL War preview video. Let them know in the comments, just let them guys know they should be on the preview video for TSL War. And then who would be a good impartial? Is there a director for this?
I don't know how they're doing the directing.
Well, we'll figure out the impartial person later, or just literally if it was just Charlie, Terry, and myself, I think that's more than enough to fill at least 3 hours, But Armageddon 3, good luck, my friend.
Thank you.
You're gonna need it. No, I'm kidding. You're gonna do awesome. You're gonna kill it. We'll see you next time. I'm Thor. Base My Banter's the channel. Saber Legion, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, everywhere. TSL, United Through Sabers. Thank you, Kevin. We'll see you next time. Deuces.